3, 2, 1, action! Are we in the center? We are, right?
Yeah.
Hi guys, it's been a while. So, yeah, finally we're doing another episode because we redid the balcony, so now got new spot already. Yay! So, on today's topic, we will be doing how's life after marriage? Yeah, which is the number one question that people ask after seeing us after our wedding. Yeah, so Mr. Chai,
I start first.
my guest for today.
I would say our dynamic, our relationship dynamic is a wee bit different from the
Normal.
typical couple kind of route, because before we even go in that
Got
phase,
married.
we are being pushed into that zone of life after marriage. Like, we have to think about getting the house, doing all that process within a 6 months period before we can get the keys and everything.
I think we need a bit of story.
Context, eh?
Yeah. So, to be fair, we were already married. Okay lah. A lot of my friends are like, "You're legally married, what?" But then for us, we're still like, "Okay, married."
No, but I'm talking about the part before we get the house.
Yeah. Because
Not like in
technically,
between.
we already signed our ROM 5 years ago to get the house. Yeah, to get the keys and everything. So we were already legally married then. But we decided to only hold our banquet when we were ready, which was recently in March. Yeah.
So if you're talking about the in between before we even do the 菜头说 butterfly. If you're talking about the in between before now we're talking about that, right?
Yeah.
Before we
No,
do the ceremony, or we're talking
I'm
about
talking about life after marriage, as in after the wedding, because that's what everybody sees.
oh, my bad.
Yeah. And that's what everybody means when they ask how's life after marriage.
Actually, not much different. Because technically, before and after we get married, I was already staying with her at this place. So technically, not much have changed from before and after.
We've moved into this house together already.
It's like what we live together for the past 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, before we do the ceremonial stuff. So beforehand, we already got a taste of how marriage is supposed to,
like.
both legally and spiritually, marriage already should feel like. So we technically already have a 3-year prep course before we even kind of tie the knot in March. Yeah. But I haven't answered the question. How's life after
I mean,
marriage?
technically you did. You were like, oh, not much difference.
I think the key difference is staying together.
Yeah.
Physically staying together, knowing the quirks of your partner, within however long that you are staying already. So for us, it's like that 3 years. For us, it's like a test lah. When we how can we still live harmoniously as a married couple. So going through that, there's a lot of differences that we have to iron things out lah. I think living
Set
habits,
different
and,
expectations.
yeah, expectation,
Be on the same page.
and constantly must communicate between the likes and dislikes, because you can never have a perfect partner. There's always flaws that I personally sure have, and she also have, and it's normal. So that we have to force ourselves to communicate lah, and that will actually make it a much easier to live together.
And embracing it lah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think now, past this stage is about the little things. Yeah.
Like what?
Like a lot of couples always say oh, my husband not sweet to me anymore, my husband never do this anymore, my husband never do that, or my wife never do this, my girlfriend never do this anymore, my girlfriend never do that. I think once you get married or get past that stage, is showing love in different ways. It's about the little gestures and the actions lah. Yeah, it's not about the grand gestures anymore. It's about all the little actions that add up every day. Yeah. Small signs that your partner still love you. Yeah.
And of course, like talk about dislikes, right? Like uh after communicating also must make an effort to change. It might not be things that you like to do, but you do it because you love your partner. It might be very cheesy to say this kind of thing, but then it's true.
It's truth.
Like you might not like it. Of course, the things that you like to do, then definitely it's not a dislike, right? But the point is like when you are faced at like there's different like hurdles in your lifestyle that your partner didn't know until you all stay together. Then when he or she already start to express that kind of like displeased with the whole thing, then it's up to you to see how you want to move forward with this, or if not, you just keep repeating this vicious cycle. If you keep on having these so-called bad habits and like this toxic kind of thing, like you forget, then later 2 weeks later it happen again, 2 weeks later it happen again, you will just keep straining the marriage to the point that you dislike each other because of that. And I think it's important that uh first to acknowledge the problem. I think sometimes you just like 不用算了算了.
Mm.
But then if you keep 算了, right, then you just your partner just keep bottling up, right? And it's very unhealthy that if you all don't clear it, then when you pull like maybe 10 years later, you'll just get
Then you go
sick
and
of it.
dig out from
Yeah, it's
from
gonna
like
get very ugly lah.
yeah.
So first, always acknowledge there's a problem first. But it must be like a two-party willing to do kind of thing. It's not like you're forced and say, okay, like that's my problem. It must be like, yes, I really have a problem and you really want to change. And at least meet in the middle, that kind of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. Or like my usual habit is like sometimes I eat and I don't like clear it immediately. Then she will have this like
OCD.
displeased like the OCD thing, like even though we are like halfway through a movie, she would pause the movie because she want to clear the food. Like after the dinner is already done, she want to clear it because if not she
Cause I
cannot
cannot. I
continue.
cannot.
Yeah, so for me is okay. Like if I'm living in any place, right? For me, this I think is okay until the movie is done. But for her, it's like must immediately clear. Then of course it's like
No, cause I noticed like sometimes it's not just after a movie is done. It's like or sometimes you're watching series. Then like no matter how many episode, right? It's like it can be there for a few hours and that I really cannot.
my habit is I will clear it when I'm going to bed. Then I'll clear everything.
Mm.
But for her, it's like once dinner is done, it's supposed to be cleared, even though we are still halfway through or maybe just finished one of the episodes.
Cause like for me, I cannot relax until it's
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah,
fully done.
yeah. I mean, if I'm asshole, I would just like it's okay, try and make a big fuss out of it. But I because I love her.
She lived with it.
Yeah. So I chose to let's just clear it together. And as long as we tank it together as a team, I don't mind lah. Like So this is the called compromise
small
lah.
move, small actions.
Yeah. Then for you, leh?
For me, like last time okay, I'm a clean freak, everybody knows that already. So
Yep.
every day I will vacuum or clean. But then like I know he don't like me to disturb when he's like in his zone or in his work. So sometimes I will avoid cleaning his room or like avoid vacuuming because I know like you don't like
But lucky, no, she very lucky because now right got the extra room, so I use that room to work So technically
I can don't touch.
she will never ever cross path with me. Last time cannot, last time is in the living room. So no matter what she do, she cannot like avoid the area because it's the living dining room.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that part was there was straining moments, especially during
At the
COVID,
start,
right? Like
yeah.
where you can't even get out to do work. So it becomes like die both of us must stay together. And I feel that I think some of the couples
Go through
during
that,
this COVID period was forced to stay with each other for like 6 months. And like some of our couples actually told us that they feel the instantaneous stress. Yeah, like again, the clean freak, non clean
like
freak.
they don't have their own space, then they cannot like avoid each other also.
Yeah.
Like for some couples it's even worse, like cause like they don't have their own place, so it's just like their room. Then it's like both are working in the same room, then it's like there's just no
Yeah, not
escape
even
lah.
harder hall.
Yeah.
Like living room and dining room become your workspace. Then it creates another layer of like discomfort because you can't really differentiate work and home anymore. Plus the stress of like the house being messy, because you all always stay 24/7 there. Then like the clothes. I think the huge issue for most couple, at least for us, is last time when I'm staying with my parents, I do have the habit of like washing clothes. Then now we have to take on the responsibility, which is like a sudden thing. It's just like when you stay together, right, this is the immediate impact.
Yeah.
Yeah, like clothes,
like
right?
you notice that you need clothes.
You run out of clothes very fast because our parents will clean quite often, like maybe 2 days once, 3 days once. For us, like we tar like 1 week, then we
Like
wash
for
one
me,
shot.
I have the habit already lah.
Yeah,
So
at least for her lah.
I had to like enforce it on him. Then like starting, he not used to the routine.
Yeah, like I don't remember there's a pile of clothes because we always hide under the like the cabinet, the spare
The laundry
space
basket.
to
Yeah.
to like 积 all the shirt until inside cannot 积, then we like clear one shot. Then that's how I was forced into it lah. But I think situation will force you to be cleaner, right?
Cause you need clothes, man.
Yeah, no choice, right? Like no clothes, then have
Like
to wash off.
when you find clothes, where my clothes? Okay, need to wash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Habit change lah. Like it's not to the point where your marriage will crumble lah, but just like
Small little things.
I think you will evolve as a couple. Like you have no choice. Plus, you want it to work, right? So naturally, you will find ways and means to somehow make it happen, lah. Unless you're very rich and can get cleaners to have it clean every week, which is actually an idea.
Part-time cleaner.
Yeah, part-time cleaner.
No, we got considered that before.
Oh,
Then after
but
I was
she
like,
ain't no. She don't want because she don't like the person clean, not clean enough.
no, because I feel that walao I clean faster and I clean better. Might as well I keep the money and do myself.
No, then you should find the people that has fixed rate one.
Cannot find.
No, fixed rate, not like the
as
hour.
in
Like I can do like 5
like
hours.
the
then
whole
you pay per
house
hour.
how much lah.
Instead of like the hourly one. If not, the
Don't
people
have
that do
leh.
slow actually not our fault, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, idea.
Yeah, idea. Cause the house is still the same size. Okay, moving on.
Moving on. So
Like okay lah, like I like to me I find all these small little chores that I get to do with you a blessing, cause it's like we have our own place, we have our own chores to think about, cause we have our own home. Yeah.
okay lah, slowly you will find the joy in that. Because it's like a routine, then after that you get very used to it, then you will do it as long okay, for me, right, as long as we do together, right, it's not as painful.
Yeah.
Like if you're forced to do alone, then of course you have that kind of like shit lah, you feel like dreading to do, right? But if you do together, technically it's your partner, you will feel like it's not too bad because you share the load, everything's 50%. Then you'll feel less pain. I mean, who like chores, right, in the first place? She like chores.
I like except for washing clothes and hanging clothes.
Which is like 30% of the house chores.
And also cleaning 菜头 shit. That was what I don't like.
Last time I quite diligent one, but now like I
Now
give
we're
her
like,
1 week then I clear her
1 week
shit.
lah. Yeah, she shit a lot for her size.
Yeah, because we keep feeding her like the grass.
She's actually here with us on my plant. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think to wrap up this episode,
So fast.
no, we can do another topic.
Yeah, that's true.
To wrap up this episode, I think the key thing is very cheesy, but it's to compromise. But then
Communicate.
and communicate through the ideals that you want and see how to meet halfway lor. Like of course some things cannot be like perfect and I mean due to like at least for us we find the medium because luckily we have extra space. So we kind of clear a bit of the misunderstanding and stuff. But maybe for others like really got no choice because the house like limited space and stuff. You all have to make very clear house rules also.
Yeah.
So that your partner knows what you're thinking.
And yeah, really about the partner knows what you're thinking thing. Like really need to be on the same page. Because like a lot of girls and as in like I think it's a man and woman thing. Like women expect guys to read our minds. But really guys cannot. And so you
open
must
your mouth.
Yeah, open our mouth and really make it obvious lah. Yeah. So you cannot have different expectations. So you need to set realistic expectations and be on the same page with each other so that y'all don't have like misunderstandings. Like the guy don't even know or your husband or your partner won't even know what you're thinking unless you say. And then like, you know, for girls, we always think too much. So better not to even start there lah. Yeah, so avoid all that by communicating.
Yeah, it's very easy lah. Say only lah.
No.
But the real thing is not easy lah.
Yeah.
So just try our best lah.
Yeah, just take the fun in it lor. It's just like another phase that you have to go through together.
Yeah,
so
but I think the
just
pros
enjoy
is
it.
more than the cons lah.
Mm.
It's not as bad as we say it is.
Mm.
But I think you enjoy more than you actually complain.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just embrace it lah.